guys to make him stay, Steve Nash, Monte Ellis, guys like that. I don't know if they'll be able to pull something like that off. I don't think they have a lot of tradable chips, but they don't want to lose Dwight Howard, and we've seen a lot of teams have different philosophies about this. Denver, right to the last second, got a big trade for Carmelo Anthony. We saw, Toronto knew they were losing Chris Bosh. They absolutely knew they were losing Chris Bosh, and they didn't trade him.
Good point.
So I think that, each team has a different philosophy on this, and I think the Magic probably look at it and say, we're not going to get a big enough return in our eyes, so let's just gamble that Dwight, gets nervous and doesn't take less money to leave.
Yep.
Let's gamble on that. And if I had to bet, who knows? I mean, he could end up traded to Golden State, to the Nets, to Lake. I have no idea what's going to happen, but if I had to guess right now, I think that they're going to hold on to him and gamble that he doesn't leave.
As a Nets fan, I really hope not. I overnighted that Brook Lopez 38-point game to the Magic as soon as it happened.
Well, I'll tell you this, though. If Dwight Howard isn't traded, and he's really true about coming to Brooklyn, and he signs outright as a free agent, it is the dream scenario.
That's great. You get to keep everybody.
Oh, my God. They have a lottery pick. I mean,
yeah.
They could have Harrison Barnes or Anthony Davis or somebody like that to go along with Darren, Dwight, Marshawn Brooks. So I'm with you, though. I want to trade for him. I don't want to take any freaking chances because I'm scared of Mark Cuban getting those guys in a room saying, hey, we're going to be Miami and Texas. And I'm afraid of that. So I wouldn't take any chances, but the best case scenario is him signing as a free agent. I just can't deal with all those rumors until July 1st. That'll be another
it'll be a nightmare.
4 months of heartburn.
It'll be terrible. I like Marshawn Brooks. I think he's a great scorer. He's gonna be a nice player in this league.
Oh, I love him too, but you know what? Like I said to Knicks fans when they were trying to get Carmelo Anthony, I'm not gonna let
you do anything to get
Brooks keep me from Dwight Howard.
Definitely. I agree. Now, how about the Knicks? Let's talk Knicks for a little bit. They got Lynn, Carmelo, and Amari, obviously, and they're looking like, they got a bit of a deep bench with Novak, J.R. Smith, Jeffries, Shumpert. What do you think Knicks fans should expect for the second half of the season here?
Well, I think your goal's got to be, if you're a Knicks fan, to get out of 7-8. They got to get out of those two spots and somehow avoid Chicago or Miami in the first round because I think they could play with anybody else. I mean, I think the 76ers proved last night, they've been proving it a lot. They don't have that go-to score, and that's going to hurt them in the playoffs. I mean, that's, I think, their biggest problem, and that's why they went 5 minutes yesterday without getting a field goal against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's incredible.
So, I mean, the Knicks are really good, and they have a chance to get even better, obviously, once they all play together and develop some type of chemistry. The addition of a real point guard, which nobody saw coming with Jeremy Lin, has been the biggest thing. And remember, Melo had a horrible first half. I mean, he was shooting under 40% from the field. He's a lot better than that. So I think the Knicks have a chance to be very good, but I don't know if this type of team could beat Miami. I don't know, even when things click and everything is together, if they can knock off a team like Miami. But they'll certainly be more competitive against them than they were last week.
Now, I know your dad was a season Met ticket holder, and you have Met season tickets. What's the greatest Met game that you've ever been to?
Grand Slam single against the Braves was probably the best because it was raining. There was like this atmosphere of desperation. We couldn't let the Braves celebrate on our field. And, I mean, remember, they went down a run in that 14th inning. I think it was the 14th inning. And then they came back, and Todd Pratt had the walk that tied. And then I knew there was not a doubt in my mind Robin Ventura was driving a run in to win the game. There was not a doubt in my mind. And I think the excitement leaving that ballpark of we are going back to Atlanta with a chance to make baseball history. I mean, they were down 3-0. All of a sudden, it's 3-2. I think just leaving that ballpark that night, the hope, the prayer that they could pull this off, which I think deep down we knew they couldn't because it's the Braves in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But that game was just from top to bottom one of the best games I've ever been to. It's just unfortunate it didn't end the right way in 2 games later, or 1 game later.
How do you think Robin Ventura will do as manager of the White Sox?
I hope he does well. I mean, I never envisioned him as a manager. He's such a quiet, soft-spoken guy. But you know what? He's the exact opposite of Ozzie Guillen. So I think they needed to go in the opposite direction. I think the Tigers are obviously going to be very tough to catch in the American League Central. And I don't know how good the White Sox are going to be. Yeah. I don't know if Adam Dunn's going to all of a sudden turn things around. I don't know if Jake Peavy's actually going to be able to stay healthy. But I hope Robin does well. He was a good Met. I was a big fan of him when he was a Met.
I liked him, too, as a Met. And tell me about this Twitter baseball thing you're doing.
Oh, this is a novel idea. I think it was like 2 years ago. I just said to myself, I wish I had like 13 friends from high school and we could organize a baseball game like we used to. So I actually just threw the idea out on Twitter and people were like, yeah, pick a place, I'll show up. And we started doing it about 2 years ago. About every Sunday, I say, hey, let's go play baseball. We pick a park, and usually we get 20 to 25 people, sometimes more.
Pretty cool.
And we just play a game. I mean, it's very simple. Most people think it's like some type of interactive, computer game. I'm like, no. It's an actual baseball game. It's just organized via Twitter, and it's been successful. It's been a lot of fun.
Great. Evan, I really want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to do this, to come on the podcast. This is awesome.
No problem. I can lie to you and say I'm a very, very busy man, but I'm not, so I'm sorry.
Well, everybody should follow Evan on Twitter. His Twitter handles @Joe and Evan. Definitely make sure to tune in to the midday show with Beningo and Roberts from 10 to 1 on WFAN. Evan, thanks again, and let's pray Dwight Howard comes.
Hey, well, man, as Joe Beningo would say, from your lips to God's ears.
Last question I forgot to ask. I got to ask you this. I'm going to Nets Clippers on Wednesday night. Chances Dwight Howard will be wearing a Nets uniform for that game?
1%. I'm sorry. I don't. You know what? I just don't have the confidence it's going to. First, I don't have the confidence it's going to happen that soon.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're getting them by March 15th. I think our best hope is July 3rd. We're having like some type of celebration in downtown Brooklyn. I think that's the best case scenario.
That'd be great because my birthday is on July 4th. So.
There you go. Look at that. What a birthday present that would be.
That would be the best possible birthday present. Evan, thank you.
No problem, man. Have a good one.